Imagine a man born on a small island, rising from humble beginnings, conquering most of Europe and forever altering the world. A man whose name would be remembered for centuries. Napoleon Bonaparte. He was a genius, a reformer, a conqueror, and to many, a tyrant. His story is one of ambition, revolution, and ultimately downfall. But what drove this extraordinary man? How did he ascend to power, and why did it all come crashing down? This is the story of Napoleon Bonaparte. Born on August 15, 1769, in Corsica, a small island that had just been ceded to France, Napoleon's family wasn't wealthy by any means. His father, Carlo Bonaparte, was a minor nobleman and lawyer, and while the family wasn't rich, they had ambitions. Napoleon's early years were shaped by his education in France, where he was sent to military school. But he wasn't like the other students. He was a foreigner, struggling with the language, the culture, and his accent. Yet, despite the hardships, he excelled in mathematics and artillery, which would serve him well in the future. By the time the French Revolution began in 1789, Napoleon was a young officer, and the chaos created by the revolution became his opportunity. France was teetering on the brink of collapse. The monarchy had been overthrown, and radical ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity were spreading. Napoleon, always ambitious, saw an opportunity to rise in the ranks of a nation in turmoil. As the revolution sparked wars across Europe, Napoleon quickly climbed the military ladder. In 1796, at the age of 26, Napoleon was put in charge of the French army in Italy. He faced an overwhelming and experienced Austrian force, but using his brilliant tactics and innovative strategies, Napoleon won battle after battle. By the end of the campaign, he had secured control of Italy, and his fame spread across Europe. Napoleon was no longer just a soldier. He was a rising star. Then came 1798, when Napoleon embarked on a military expedition to Egypt, hoping to disrupt Britain's trade routes and establish French influence in the region. While the Egyptian campaign was not a complete success, Napoleon's Battle of the Pyramids and the discovery of the Rosetta Stone gave him fame and glory. It wasn't a total victory, but it cemented his place in the hearts and minds of the French people. In 1799, amidst political chaos in France, Napoleon made his move. He staged a coup d'etat and overthrew the French Directory, the ineffective government that had been in power. The country was ripe for a strong leader, and Napoleon seized it. He declared himself first consul and quickly centralized power. By 1804, after a series of political maneuverings, Napoleon crowned himself Emperor of the French, not waiting for the Pope to crown him. This was a bold statement. He was not just the ruler of France, he was a self-made emperor. Napoleon wasn't just a conqueror, he was a visionary. He implemented widespread reforms. The Napoleonic Code, a unified set of laws, became one of his most enduring legacies, influencing legal systems across the globe. He created a new system of education, restructured the economy, and introduced a more efficient government structure. He even signed the Concordat of 1801, bringing peace between France and the Catholic Church after years of tension. But Napoleon's true legacy is in the battlefield. His military genius was unmatched. His tactics were revolutionary. From the Battle of Austerlitz, 1805, where he destroyed a Russian and Austrian army, to Jena, 1806, where he crushed the Prussian forces, Napoleon built the largest European empire since the Romans. At the height of his power, his empire stretched from Spain to Russia. But it wasn't just about winning battles. It was about reshaping Europe according to his vision. Yet the downfall began in 1812. Napoleon's decision to invade Russia was his greatest blunder. The Russian winter and scorched earth tactics devastated his army. Over 600,000 soldiers marched into Russia, but fewer than 100,000 returned. This catastrophic failure drained Napoleon's strength and set in motion his eventual downfall. After the Russian disaster, Napoleon faced a growing coalition of European powers. In 1814, after a series of defeats, he was forced to abdicate and was exiled to the island of Elba, off the coast of Italy. But Napoleon wasn't done yet. In 1815, he escaped Elba and returned to France for a brief period known as the 100 Days. Napoleon reclaimed the throne and raised an army, but his return was short-lived. The Battle of Waterloo sealed his fate. He was decisively defeated by British and Prussian forces, and this time there was no escape. Napoleon was exiled to the remote island of St. Helena, located in the South Atlantic Ocean, under strict British supervision. He spent his final years reflecting on his legacy. On May 5, 1821, he died at the age of 51, likely from stomach cancer, though some historians believe he was poisoned. Napoleon's legacy is both controversial and complex. To some, he was a hero, a reformer who brought order and stability to France and revolutionized the legal and educational systems of Europe. His Napoleonic Code is still the foundation of civil law in many countries. To others, he was a tyrant, responsible for the deaths of millions in his wars of conquest. His military campaigns and the human toll they exacted were massive. Napoleon's name is synonymous with power, ambition, and brilliance, but also with destruction. He reshaped the European continent for better and for worse. His empire may have crumbled, but his impact on history is undeniable. Was Napoleon Bonaparte the greatest conqueror in history, or just a man consumed by his own ambition? His story is one of triumph, tragedy, and enduring legacy. The question remains, hero or villain? You decide. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more fascinating stories from history.